Now let's talk about video. And
Yes.
I know probably everybody watching this knows the value of video, right? Video is not just a trend, it's really a visibility superpower.
Yep.
But showing up on camera, knowing what to say it, how to actually take the video and put it in places where it'll be useful. So many people get stuck. And today we have a guest here to help simplify and help give you some tools and techniques to make this a little easier, to feel a little less stressful. I am absolutely thrilled to welcome Edie Clarke here. Edie is a video marketing strategist. She's the founder of Virtually in Sync, and she helps entrepreneurs and business owners confidently step in front of the camera to leverage video strategically and use some AI tools to amplify your reach without all the overwhelm. So, if you're ready to stop overthinking video and start actually using it to grow your business, you're gonna love being here today. So, Edie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Before we dive in, I'd love if you could share some background, some context of how you got to becoming a video strategist. How did you get this job? Because it's fascinating to me and I love the work you do, but I'd love to hear more of your story.
Well, thank you so much, Megan, for welcoming me today. And it's a pleasure to be here and to be able to demystify video and video marketing for anyone that is listening live or if you are seeing this on the replay. I first got introduced to video when I was a teenager. I was obsessed with television programs and wanted to be a big named TV film producer. And I just really loved the art of storytelling and the different TV shows that I would watch as a teenager. As I got older, I got more into editing. And I don't know if that was because it was like a solo thing that I could do for myself. I'm not really sure what the logic was behind that. But I went on to work at video production companies, post-production companies, film companies. I worked for a while at a visual effects company in California before coming back to New York and then starting my own production company where I created commercials for local businesses for the local cable channel here. And then in 2013, I created Virtually in Sync, and I wanted to just do something a little bit differently. So I first started off just editing videos for speakers because they needed it for either their speaker reel or they were cutting clips. We call them shorts now. Who knew? But they weren't vertical, they were still landscape, and we were putting them on YouTube not for necessarily search, but it was sort of to host them there so that when they would market themselves to meeting planners, they would be able to see evidence of them being able to speak. Then I started to realize YouTube's a thing. I need to get a little bit more understanding of that. But in order to really promote myself as an expert, I needed to create videos myself. And one of the roadblocks for me was being comfortable on camera. I was always somebody that ran from cameras. And so therefore it was not natural. And everybody I'd been seeing on YouTube seemed to, be really, really comfortable. And that wasn't me. So my first entree into creating videos was actually creating what's now called faceless videos. So you heard my voice, but you did not see me. And I was teaching tutorial videos and showing you how to use all of these different tools in order for you to accomplish whatever it was. It could be PowerPoint, it could be learning Facebook. I mean, you name it. I was creating videos on that. And then I started to realize I couldn't hide permanently because in order for people to get to know, like, and trust me, they needed to actually see that I was a human. And so I needed to work my way up to actually getting comfortable on camera. And I just did it very incrementally by just letting myself be in the lower third and then maybe opening the video and then closing the video. And then eventually I got comfortable being in the video from the beginning to the end. So it took a while. It was not something that was like oh, I got this done in, a week. No, it took months and months and months for me to get comfortable. But I'm glad that I'm here now because now I can teach my audience what they need to do in order to overcome what I call video phobia or video fears, and also to be able to create video content, which people tend to equate with it being overwhelming, complicated. Uh, there's all this expensive and elaborate technology that's involved. And I'm a proponent of easy and quick and simple. And that's what I do for my audience.
I love that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think the transparency and knowing you haven't always loved showing up on
Oh,
camera
God.
is really important
Yeah.
because when you sit down with somebody to support them, you've been there, right?
Mhm.
And I will encourage you all go take a look at Edie's YouTube. I'll get it linked in the chat here shortly, but she's got tons of videos out there. And it's it's so interesting because if you look at her recent videos, you would never say, "Oh, she's just natural, right? She's got this." So
Yeah.
go take a look. But if you relate to that idea of like video feels very overwhelming right now, I'd love to know in the chat. Just say, "Yep, overwhelm central here." Like we likely all feel that way.
Oh,
So
gosh. Yeah.
I want to start with basics for someone who's brand new to video. They've been kind of they do social, but it's all graphics, it's all copy. There's not video. They maybe feel overwhelmed by the idea of recording themselves. Where should they start? And is there a particular kind of content that tends to work best for small businesses, especially?
The content that works best and that I recommend is frequently asked questions or just basically teaching what you know. Frequently asked questions is probably the easiest and no-brainer because no matter what you're an expert in, that is something that you already come to the table with because you've already done your due diligence. You know exactly who your target audience is and what their pain points are. The key to success with video is really just understanding your audience and understanding what it is that they're looking for in the form of a response. And so, as long as you have the solution, you just need to figure out what's the easiest and simplest way for you to create that content for them. So, if you're starting off with something as simple as frequently asked questions, and even if you do not know, what those frequently asked questions are. Let's say it is something that you're familiar with. And I know for me, I would have a complete blank on what do I talk about? I don't know what to talk. Even though you're an expert, sometimes it just comes to you like that. You can use tools like Answer Socrates, which is a really phenomenal tool that I've been using, and it scrapes Bing and Google, and it gets all of the questions, even from social media, that people are asking on any topic that you can think of. So you would just put in your topic that's related to whatever your niche is, and you could see a sea of questions that come up, and you just pick a bunch and you can create the videos from there. But if you're uncomfortable about being on camera, I really recommend doing faceless videos. And those faceless videos can be anything from a slide presentation, it could be stock footage or stock images that are telling the story or relaying what it is that you're saying over voiceover. It could be animation now is like super easy to create with ChatGPT and Gemini VO and all of the other ones that are out there. It's really easy to find tools, and I always have recommendations of tools depending on what the output is that you want to do and what your expertise is. And all you need to do is just marry those two things together, the frequently asked question with a faceless video, and you're good to go. And these faceless videos, a lot of them take minutes to create, not hours, minutes.
Which is interesting because I sit here and go, really? I don't know about that. I'm taking notes because there are some things I want to try for the IAW brand. But one of the biggest things that I hear is I hate how I look and sound on camera. And I host
Mhm.
a lot of people for speaking opportunities. And it's always this like, do I look okay? Do I sound okay? Like I don't like
Right.
that. How do you help people overcome that fear of being on camera and then appearing confident and natural? Because if we have that fear and we're kind of focused on how I look and how I sound, then likely
Yeah.
we come through very scripted.
Yeah.
be or uncomfortable.
And to be truthfully honest with you, the best way to overcome that is repetition. You really need to just consistently do it. One of the things that kind of got me over the hump a little bit, even though it petrified the heck out of me, was doing live streams. And that was because I didn't have the time to focus on me. I had to be on the minute that I knew that I was live. And so that was one thing that I used, but I know that that's people are probably like, you've got to be kidding me. There's got to be a different way that you can go about doing it. Like I said, for me, what I did was I created videos that I first let myself be a little bit in it, just in the corner, as small as I could make myself. Or I opened the video with hi, whatever my hook was, and then I closed the video with whatever my call to action was. Um, it is vitally important that we focus on the message and not what we look like. The fact of the matter, and this didn't occur to me until I was doing videos for quite a while before I realized this. Each and every one of us have a unique way of communicating with our ideal audience. And I was in a sea of experts that were YouTube and video marketing experts that had been doing this way longer than I had. And there wasn't enough unique content for me to say, oh, I'm going to talk about this because nobody else is talking about it. I had to talk about the same thing, but I had to put my spin on it. I had to put my nuance on it and hope that that was enough. And it wasn't until I started to look at the comments when I started to see people say, I've watched X number of videos on this particular tool, because a lot of my content was on tutorials for various tools and methods and things of that nature. I watched 3 videos, didn't understand them until I came to yours. And that floored me because I knew deep down I had heard that, but I didn't believe that I could have that kind of impact. And what I then realized is that the longer that we take to come and do the kinds of content that we should be doing because we're an expert, we're knowledgeable in the things that we're knowledgeable about, the worse off it is for whoever our ideal audience is,
Mhm.
because every audience that's coming on that's new is going to Google and search for a solution to whatever their problem is. And what if you're the solution and they don't find you? And
Mhm.
that's the thing that I always think about.
I I think whenever we have that fear of showing up, whether it's on camera or in at a networking event where you don't know anybody, or like there's so many opportunities to expand on this, but making it about somebody else and the benefit that you can give them or the help you can provide helps take off the focus on, do I
Yep.
look okay? Do I sound okay? Is like it helps. And then getting that feedback. I love the feedback of, I've seen this so many times that only when I came here did I
Yeah.
truly understand. Like that,
Yeah.
that's such a big moment, I'm sure for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Big time.
What's your, so I just shared your YouTube channel in the chat.
Okay.
What's
Thank you.
your best performing video on YouTube?
Oh God, I don't even look that up. Um,
I'm just curious. I can,
Probably, I would have to say that still ranks. It's a video on Loom.
that's what it
I
looks
was
like.
an early adopter of Loom
Seven.
before they actually became Loom.
That's
And
amazing.
I was obsessed with that video, well, with that tool. And so I did a video.
Mhm.
I've done a couple of videos on them, but I think it was one of the very first ones that I did that I'll see is still being found in
Yep.
search. That's the other key thing. I'm kind of glad you asked that question because the key thing is to make sure that the content that you're creating, specifically if you're going to be putting that on YouTube, the vast majority of it should be evergreen. You should not focus all of your attention on whatever's trending at the moment. And the
Mm,
reason is because you don't know when your target audience is going to look for you.
mhm.
So you want them to be able to find your old content because Loom at its core is still the same as it was in 2016, 17, whatever year that video is from. Maybe it's from 18. I can't remember.
Six.
Um, they have
But
they've
it's
come a long way,
right.
but the core of it is still the same. And so that's why that video still pops up. So
Mhm.
if you do content that's evergreen, that's key to make sure that you create that kind of content.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Super great tip. So I want to talk tech for a minute because this is often where a lot of people get hung up, right? They're like, okay, I'm going to do a video, I'm going to figure this out. But then there are so many options for technology, and we can
Right.
go simple and use our phones. Is the quality going to be okay? We could like the,
Right.
so what are some of your favorite kind of beginner friendly tools for video creation, video editing, especially for those of us that aren't super tech savvy?
I always talk about using what you have. And A, because you understand it, you know how to use it, and you've been using it. So if you want, you can use your smartphone. All smartphones these days can record up to 4K. And so you don't need to go out and buy a fancy, expensive DSLR. Now, if you're starting a vlogging business, this is something that you plan on doing permanently. That's a different scenario, and that's a different story, and you would need to get equipment specific to that. But most of the people that I speak to are businesses, and so they're going to be using video in order to market themselves and their business. And it's very rare that they're going to be walking down the street and need to have a gimbal attached to a phone or to a camera. So I recommend definitely your smartphone. If you're going to be using your smartphone, you need to have some sort of a tripod. It could be a desk tripod. I have one that clamps to my desk, as well as I have one that's a floor tripod, but you can get desk tripods as well. If you are using your web camera, just make sure that it's minimum 1080p. But again, most webcams can record in 4K. So I would get the one I have right now is a 4K web camera. You don't have to worry about a tripod because you can clip it onto your desktop computer monitor, or if you have a laptop, the only thing I would recommend is putting some books, or if you have a desk like mine that you can push a button and it elevates, because you want to have the camera at eye level at all times. You don't want to look down and have the camera looking up at you. Other than that, you need to have some way of recording your audio. Um, iPhones tend to have really good microphones. So if you have an iPhone, especially if you have one of the latest ones in the new iPods, you probably won't need to get an external microphone, but I still recommend doing that. And where is mine? Mine is not on my desk, but
And
I recommend getting, yeah, you can get a USB microphone like that one
mhm,
you are using your web camera, but if you are using your smartphone, you can get a lavalier wireless microphone, and it takes pristine audio. It's really, really good.
mhm.
And so I recommend doing that for your audio. And is that a snowball or a blue?
A blue. This is
Blue. Okay. And getting a blue if or any kind of a USB microphone if you're using your web camera.
yeah.
So that's for recording. When it comes to the lighting, if you have the pleasure of being in an office or a room that has a lot of natural light that comes in, use what God gave you. Otherwise, you can go out and you can purchase. A lot of people have done ring lights. For people that wear glasses, it's a little disheartening. As you could see, if I go like this, you can see the ring light over here. And that's because I have it almost like shining down on my desk. If you don't wear glasses, then you don't really have to worry about that. On this side, I have what's called a soft box light. It does take up a little bit more room because it's probably like by a 2 by 2. And if your space isn't that big, then you don't know. They have smaller ones. We had these forever, so that's why I still use these. Um, and other than that, if you can just use natural light is basically the way to go. But if you can purchase lights, then you can go ahead and do that. And they're fairly affordable. I haven't looked at the price points for those in a while.
Yeah.
So I would,
I have it's not turned on right now because I have a lot of windows in this office. Clearly, I have a window and a white fence. So when the sun is out, I
yeah,
usually will close that if I'm trying to get
yeah.
the right lighting. But I have it clips to the back of my desk. It has a stand. I can't. It's clipped, so if I try to move
Yeah.
it, it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
But it like moves around, and my
Mhm.
can clamp in
That's
it.
perfect.
So like it, and I probably paid $10 on Amazon for it.
Yeah.
And
And so the price points
it's
for
so
all of these things are really, really affordable. When
mhm,
it comes to video editing, today in 2025, there are affordable tools that are available. Like I said, I'm a proponent for simple and easy. And so I'm always focused on looking at those types of tools and recommending them. So
mhm,
Descript is a tool that you can use because it certainly allows you to edit like you're editing a Word document. But
mhm,
there are a lot of tools that allow you to do that, including Loom, that you can edit that way. Another tool that I absolutely love is Kapwing, that allows you to edit by just removing words from the text. But they're also in all of these tools, with the exception of Loom, you can do auto editing, which is, and it varies depending on the tool that you're using, but you can have it automatically edit out your filler words like your and your so's and things of that nature, as well as bad takes. It can remove bad takes. Gling is another one. Wise cut is, I mean, there's way
yeah,
too many. And
yeah,
the price points vary, but there's usually, you're not going to find anything over $30 a month. And then the good thing about a lot of these tools is that you can start and stop them whenever you need to use them.
mhm,
You can use them, and then when you're ready to stop, you can stop.
yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Um, I also know you have a lot of information about tools and all of that and all of your resources, so we'll make sure we point people there.
Mhm.
Um, So this is a challenge that I have, and I'm sure a lot of other people have as well. A
Mm.
lot of video content sitting on my phone or on my hard drive that's literally just collecting virtual dust. So can older video be reused effectively? And like, how do we repurpose it in a way that still feels relevant and fresh and supports our strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a client the other day that, well, prospect on a consultation call, and she was asking the same thing. Um, If you have older content that is relevant today, it's evergreen content, even if you filmed it a year ago, you can definitely take the video and repurpose it through tools like Opus Clip, Get Munch, Video.ai. There's a whole Capwing does it. I mean, there are just too many. I think even Descript does it. Riverside, I mean, everybody can repurpose content. What I love about, I personally use Opus Clip. I've tried a lot of different ones. And what I like about Opus Clip is, in addition to constantly updating their platform, they will rank the clips after they do an auto. You can give it a little bit of information like, is it a webinar? Is it a marketing? Like, you can fill in some information in reference to that. And then it will clip that video, depending on how long it is, it'll spit out 10 to 30 or more clips, and then it ranks it by a virality score. And it's not guaranteeing that it's going to go viral, but it has a good chance of at least being able to grab the attention of your ideal audience. So I will pick usually anything that's 90 and above. Sometimes I might go into the high 80s, and it's on a scale of, I guess, zero. I've never gotten a zero, but 0 to 100 is what I'll assume it goes on. And so you can certainly use that. The way that I avoid having to obsess over things, and I don't know if everybody's going to agree with me on this, but this is something that I am doing. I put myself on a 90-day video challenge, and the only way I could deal with my shorts was just to take a batch and just upload them. You can use the platform to auto schedule on YouTube for you. So I
Oh,
take my, the 90s. I'll go through them just to make sure that it's grabbed it in the right place. Sometimes I will obsess over it, but for the most part, I will grab whatever is in the 90s. So if I have like 6 or 7 that are in the 90s, I'll auto schedule. It allows you to say, do you want it to auto schedule every hour, every couple of hours, every half day, every day? Like, you can schedule it as far out. I think 2 weeks is the max.
mhm.
And then you can say what day you want it to start. Right now, they only do this for YouTube. and you just hit schedule and you don't have to think about it. So that's one way of doing it for your videos. The other way that I've probably in the past couple of years have started to use is there's a platform and a tool called Cast Magic, which was originally created for podcasters. But what I'll do is I will upload my YouTube videos to that platform and I will have it create a plethora of content that ranges from emails to summaries to social media posts to blog posts, anything that's written, it will create for you if you have the correct prompt for it.
Mhm.
And some of them, I forgot how many they come with automatically, but let's say there's like 8 prompts that it comes with automatically. You can create your own custom prompts for the types of videos that you're going to be uploading to the platform. So those 2 things are what I do.
So I will tell you, usually these sessions run about 20 minutes, and I realize we're almost at 30 minutes, and I want to be mindful of time.
Okay.
I told you we could talk about this all day.
Yes. And I certainly
I,
could.
I warned you. So I want to take a moment to our audience. If you have questions or things you're struggling with, reach out to Edie. I shared her YouTube link. Her LinkedIn profile is linked. She has so much great information. Edie, can you tell us? I know you have some workshops that are coming up. Can you elaborate on those quickly?
Yes, really quickly. I have 3 workshops that are coming up. September, the first one's coming up on September 20th, and then it's being repeated on the 24th, but they're all going to be live. And then I have for October and November, it is all about helping you create faceless videos. We will do it within 2 hours. I'm guaranteeing 90 minutes because I've done it in 90 minutes, and then I use 30 minutes as a Q&A. The first one in September is using Kapwing or Capwing, some people call it, and Answer Socrates. So I'll show you how you can get your frequently asked question and then take that over to Kapwing and create a faceless video. In October, we're going to use ChatGPT and an animation tool called Hedra. And then in November, we're going to use Gamma, which I love using for slide presentation creations, among other things. And another one of my favorite tools, Camtasia Online. That is a free tool that is available right now from Camtasia. And I would love to help you get over that hump of creating videos for your business.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice or encouragement that you'd give to someone that's been kind of resisting or hesitant on video, but knows that it's time? Okay, we got to rip the band-aid off. It's time to start.
2 things. Do it scared and think progress over perfection.
Mm.
I've suffered from both. I was petrified being on camera and even creating videos and putting it out there to be judged. And I always obsessed over it being perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. So just do it so that you can get better. The more you do it, the more frequent you do it, the better you get.
And if you need a coach in your pocket, you got Edie. She's got you.
I'm available.
Edie, thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom today. This was
Thank you.
fantastic, and I I hope many of you are walking away going, okay, now I know where to start. Um, I do have a challenge for those of you watching, whether it's live or recorded. Pick one idea, one tool, one thing, and go put it into action this week. It could be filming your first reel, repurposing something, trying out a new tool. Just start. And if
Yes,
you need a little encouragement, you can message Edie, you can message me, let us know you watched this.
most definitely.
We are there to support you. If you want to connect with Edie and learn more about her workshops, her services, the things that she offers, strategy tips, AI powered marketing insights, you can find her on LinkedIn. We've got that
Yes,
link in the chat. Edie, thank you again. And to everyone watching, thank you. Please keep showing
yes.
up, keep creating, and we will see you at the next Ask the Expert session. Have a great
Thank
day, everyone.
you. This was fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Edie. Stop.